Ladies and gentlemen, children of the interwebs out there, Sebastian Envy, Strong Style, Cinephile, having some technical difficulties, so we're going audio only for a few videos, but that won't stop us. There's a new Batwoman, well, couple. We'll get to both of them, so let's geek about Meet Your Maker for a scant few minutes. Now, in this episode, a few things happen. Number one, Mary is being drawn to the original Poison Ivy, who was out and about running free thanks to Renee Montoya, who just, out of love, was just trying to revitalize who she thinks is her soulmate, thinking that she could save her. Maybe the time spent in prison of sorts had done something to her to make her maybe want to rethink her ways, change her ways, and just get out of Gotham, just run off into the sunset together. Poison Ivy, not so much. Number one, she's just not recharging like she usually does from the water or from the sun or anything. Renee tries kind of a spiritual method to kind of make it happen, but it doesn't work. So she mentions that drawing Mary in could help her, could feed her like a battery of sorts, like a symbiotic sort of thing. So, despite Renee's obvious objections to that, she works to draw Mary to her. They have a connection, which closes out the episode, and I'm assuming just boosts Poison Ivy. To what end, we'll find out in the next episode. Outside of that, you have Ryan visiting her mom's grave, just talking to her, just trying to talk things out because Ryan is dealing with a lot. As she says in the episode, she's got this new family. One of them is a sociopathic killer, and she's just trying to deal with all that. She's trying to deal with her feelings for Sophie, which, yeah, that's going to be a thing. Sophie kissed her in this episode. We knew that was going to be a thing. I mean, it's just, as I've said before, if this was just a long game for Sophie to go through this, to realize that she's using these various Batwomen as some sort of whatever mechanism for her life, and realizing that she's needs to do something different, and then goes on to have a nice bat-free, stronger relationship with somebody, whoever they bring on the show, I'd be cool with that. Other than that, it's to me lazy to put Sophie yet again with somebody in the bat suit just because they're in close proximity and they're into women. And it's just, I don't like that. We have Luke dealing with just feeling like a failure for nearly getting killed by Marcus, for the Batwing suit, for Mary. He ends up saving a kid, which kind of renews his faith in himself. Sophie and Ryan also tried to renew his faith in himself, and he ends up talking to his dad because talking to Graves is apparently the thing to do in this episode. He comes to the conclusion that he just needs to believe in himself. He needs to not worry about what his dad thinks, if his dad thought he was ready or not. He just needs to be his own guy and step out on faith in himself. Realize that being a hero, walking this path, there was some failure, which was outlined in an amusing scene in the cabin between Sophie and Ryan. That he just needs to believe in himself, and we'll see what that nets him going forth. Diggle showed up, and apparently Diggle and Jada had a past. You could tell as soon as they just within like 30 seconds of that scene together, I was like, oh yeah, these two slept together many, many times, I'm sure. And sure enough, there's a line where Diggle says he got back with his wife, and that confirms things. They theorize that another shock of Joker's Joy Buzzer will fix Marcus. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think that's going to make him worse, or he's going to fake being, well, and then still be the killer in the end. Remains to be seen how that goes. Always glad to see David Ramsey. I'm interested to kind of see where he goes because we've got this Justice U project where he's going to be teaching some younger heroes. Where that's going to go, who knows? We had a thing in this episode where he shows the box to Luke, and the reason why he was in Gotham City was to get Luke to help open the box, because apparently the box, which we're assuming is the ring box, is not open to him. Probably because he refused the call of Worlds Await and all that stuff, and he can't get it open. Maybe there's another method to get it open that's not physical, Luke suggests. But I don't know if maybe this is just a thing they're going to do. We were teased with the Green Lantern thing with Diggle for so long. We kind of, as fans, as I've said, kind of worked ourselves into that, so it's our own fault. And maybe this is their way to get out of it, that Diggle refused, so now the box is closed to him. Maybe the box will, fly away and back into space or fly somewhere else to somebody else who will actually embrace it. And then Diggle will then be a regular guy. He'll be on this Justice U thing teaching the heroes of tomorrow or whatever. It remains to be seen how it goes. All in all, it was a pretty decent episode. It had some funny interactions with them going to look for poison ivy in the woods. Three black people going in the woods. Black people die in horror movies and kind of make that comment. So I thought that was funny. Alice was still in the episode. Her and Mary bonded over the fact that even though they have like baggage together and issues with, Alice killing Mary's mother and all that kind of stuff, that they have found some sort of kinship, some sort of sisterhood amongst all that baggage. Mary has found who she believes is to be her true self. So I'm wondering kind of who Mary's going to be once they fix her. Is she going to still have some of these more outgoing qualities, outgoing thoughts that she's been kind of expressing as this Poison Mary incarnation, or is she going to go back to the way she was? It remains to be seen. All in all, it was a pretty decent episode. Again, they're kind of they went for more of a horror movie in the woods type of vibe instead of action and stuff, which it's cool to change up things. You don't need a fisticuffs every single episode if you can do something different, which they did. So I give them props for that. And just kind of remains to be seen how some of this stuff shakes out in the end with Mary connecting with the original Poison Ivy, how Montoya is going to factor into this. The Joy Buzzer thing, I'm sure that situation is going to make things worse for Marcus, and sort of does he end up being the big bad of this season, or is it ultimately Poison Ivy and Poison Mary? Or is Poison Mary going to be the key to stopping Poison Ivy in the end? Remains to be seen. I'm curious. I'm here for it. Anyway, those are some of my thoughts on it, scattered as they often are. What else out there think? Let me know. Comments below. Follow me, social media. Talk to me there. Talk to me here. So I got another episode of this and another episode of Superman. So yeah, trying to get caught up. Till next time, let us geek.